All right, guys, I've been messing with this for entirely too long. So I'm gonna run through this really quick. I have a tone ring from a Honda, and this little cup here, so I can get it dialed in and oriented properly on a fixed axis. This is actually an oil filter housing cup, the what you use to take the oil filter housings off of some vehicles, like Mercedes or some of the other manufacturers that have those type of caps. This is just the bearing here, just the old bearing, so I can sit it on a good flat surface, so this cup will ride. That adapter goes is a 3/8, and it goes to a drill, so that fits inside that cup, and that's what I'm using for my drive shaft, to rotate the cup and the race, so that fit in there perfectly. This is what I got. So that's doing its thing. It's not perfect. It's not 100%, but it's something. And this whiteout mark here, I'm gonna show you what that's for. That's actually a high spot, and that's just to get my orientation, so I can, when I look at my waveform. So all this was just to get an accurate depiction of the position that I am. I cut this mark out for basically my top dead center, so I'll know where I am. Let me show you the waveform. I'm not gonna go into. You're not supposed to look at me. All right, so let me tell you how I got it hooked up. VR sensors produce their own voltage, and I pretty much got the ground on my BNC connector, and the positive on the yellow. It produces its own voltage value. So let's move on. Time base is going to be under 1 volt. This is producing about 200 millivolts. We do have a waveform. This is my 360-degree rotation here. Let me see if I can get this pulled up around there. So this is from here. This is where the slit is cut. All right. And right there, that's 360 degrees right there. All right. Now, that high spot right there, let me show you where that is. That's why I marked it, because I kept getting a high spot. Look at that lip right there. There's a lip right there. That's reflected in the waveform right there. All right, so it explains why I got that high spot, and it also explains that dip. There's my dip right there. There's my dip. So you get it. We're on the same page. I keep looking at myself. So you know where we're located. So I got a magnet. All right. Logically, when you put a magnet on this thing here, it shouldn't work. Okay. Based off the videos that they had on the internet, they put this little sheet over it. It lost its ability to produce a pattern. I think that's BS. And I'm going to show you how I think that's BS. Even though this is not perfect, we do have waveform. Okay. Now, again, this drop off is no signal because I cut it out. Okay. There's no magnet there. That's cut out. So those little grooves that they're showing you that is no longer available, you see that on off, those little hatches, those little light areas, that's the on off signal. Okay. That's where you get your oscillating waveform. All right, hopefully you follow me. So the plan, when I put this magnet here, we shouldn't see this anymore logically. And I'm going to put it in a spot where we all know, since it's rotating clockwise. All right, the graph goes this way. So we're getting the drop off, the peak. So we're getting that peak is right here. So logically, if that's coming around, that's the first peak here. This will be my first peak. Okay. So right here is where our peak is. And then this is not, this doesn't rotate like very well. So it is wavy a little bit. So we know our peak is here. We know we got one peak. So that's our peak there. Hopefully I'm not confusing myself neither. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the magnet on both sides. Okay, and here it's already bad enough that the waveform is choppy because of how my setup is. But logically, when I put that magnet there, I'm gonna put it right at that peak. I shouldn't see a peak. Logically, I shouldn't see a peak. Okay. Logically, that peak should be gone. Now that could be a part of the metal. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it on both sides here. There's no peak there, but it is a high point. Okay, so I'm gonna put the magnet on both of those peaks. And I'm gonna show you that they're currently existing. So we're gonna start this over. I'm gonna rotate this. Now I will say the only variable, well, there's no variable here. We have a consistent pattern. Oh, let me see. I shouldn't have to do anything to it. We have a consistent pattern. I'm looking for those peaks to go away. That's what's supposed to happen. All right, because when by the logic of those videos, from what they've shown, we should not be able to get any type of indication that there's some signal being generated. All right. Because these waves only are manifested because of how that tone ring is designed. And we shouldn't be able to get those. All right. Just ignore the choppiness. This is just the default setup. So this is a magnet. This is definitely a magnet. It'll support itself. All right. This is ghetto. This is totally ghetto. All right. I'm gonna take my magnet. I'm gonna put it here. Here's my magnet. We're putting it there. We're putting it here. And I'm moving it around. I'm gonna move it out. All right. All right. I'm cutting the camera off. So we're gonna start it back over. Now, I think it's BS. Nothing's gonna happen. But let's see what happens. What do you know? I can't believe it. I was actually wrong. So I can't believe it. So let's try something else. Let's try something else. And I don't mind being wrong. That's why I did this. I made this to prove that they were BS. All right. That's why I did it. And to prove that, I don't know everything under the sun. So let me see what happens. Because I'm like, this is a magnet, but it's probably not a really strong magnet. Let's go 180 degrees over. Let's go 180 degrees over. All right, we're directly across from there. Directly across it. There we go. Taking the magnet, moving around. All right, let's start it over. So we should see some discrepancies in the center now. What the hell? Oh gosh. Hey, you know what? This is it. I'm not even gonna play around as if I know every fucking thing. But when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have personal accountability. I do. My mouth is shut. And I got nothing else to say. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'm sorry I doubted you.